Well, my name is Ruth Wedgwood. I was until about a year ago a member of the UN Human Rights Committee in Geneva, and I was first introduced to the issue of Ashraf as I drove back to a UN Human Rights Committee meeting along the shore of Lake Geneva by Palais Wilson and saw the protesters and asked what they were about. And since that time, I've become much more factually informed about the dilemma of Ashraf. Of course, we've all known that the Iranian regime was made of thugs for quite some time. They even imprisoned one of my students in international law. What to do about it? Sanctions, obviously, sanctions on gasoline, sanctions that try to strike at the economic interests that are valued by the mullahs and their families to put economic pressure. The other issue of protecting Ashraf, providing adequate protection so that more people in Ashraf are not killed. And it's a very perilous condition that people in Ashraf find themselves in. I've often told my students in law school and foreign policy school that I don't think I would ever have the physical courage that it takes to be a human rights activist in the third world, to have the advantage of just teaching this stuff in the first world. So indeed, folks who are braver than I am have the responsibility of championing their own rights. Well, I've often been asked about the role of women in foreign policy. I teach at Johns Hopkins in Washington, D.C. We encourage our women students to go into foreign policy as diplomats, as attachés, working in NGOs. But there's another way to go into foreign policy, which is to be a leader in the politics of your own country. And indeed, I think Mrs. Rajavi is one of the very few prominent women who are either leading a country or leading a movement that likely may become the government of a country. So certainly her presence and her manner and her very gracious personality is one that we should all seek to emulate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.